Hello, IOD community. Today we're going to be making these junk journal ephemera, and they are absolutely dreamy. So we're going to be using our IOD Ephemeral Type. Easy to get those two confused. Our Ephemeral Type stamp, some IOD black ink, and an IOD ink pad. And we have actually purchased this worn 8-inch by 6-inch watercolor paper, but you might have watercolor paper sitting around that you can use. You could even burn the edges for a little bit more of a worn look. We didn't have anything to use, so we went ahead and got that on Amazon. You can see we're prepping our black ink here. We just left the stamp on the sheet for this. Thought that was easier than taking it off. It gives it some of the rigidity of using like a thin mount. So we just inked up the section that we wanted to use. And we are just going to flip that over, although Olivia's cleaning up the edge just because she got a little too juicy and didn't want that to transfer onto the project. So she's going to flip that over, line it up, and you can see that she removed the little circle there because she doesn't want that to appear. So of course you can practice this without ink first to make sure everything's lining up, especially if you do your own paper. And once you commit to that piece of paper, you put that stamp down, you hold it in place, move your fingers all over, getting that impression down before lifting that off. And that's going to give you the cleanest impression. And this looks absolutely beautiful. We left these as a stack because we're going to be using these as a very beautiful staging element for, this can be on a dresser, on a coffee table. It's really beautiful. So that gives us that nice stack. And of course, again, you can use paper you have lying around. And for the next piece, we're going to use some twine, and we're going to be finishing off with some dried flowers. We got these mini bouquets on Amazon as well, but you could dry some flowers yourself, and most of you are going to have some kind of twine or ribbon hanging around your craft room that you could use. Ours came with this set, so we just went ahead and used that, put it around the back, cross it over the front, and then pull that to tie it in the front. We are going to be doing like old-fashioned letter seal using a piece from the Ephemeral Type stamp and some really nifty, it's not hot glue, but it's wax seal sticks used with your hot glue gun. It's going to look pretty neat. So we used some leftover ones from Sarah's best friend's wedding 8 years ago, and we have linked a similar version that you can get because those are no longer available, but we chose some that you could find on Amazon. So of course, do check with your stockist. They might have some of these supplies, and it is always best to shop local when you can. So we've tied that into a nice little bow there. And you can see this little element from the Ephemeral Type stamp that we're going to be using. We pull that off our sheet. You could use a different one if you like. There's some circle ones. Olivia's going to show that up close to the camera. And we do have our wax seal stick in the hot glue gun right now. It's all ready to go. We're just going to drip that over, and we're going to make a nice pull there. Do be careful with your heat settings. We put ours on the highest setting, which was too much. We smelled it burning. So do try maybe a lower setting. It may say on the package for what you're using, what heat setting, but if you smell burning, it's probably a little too high. You can also practice this on a practice sheet to make sure you get the impression right before committing to your beautiful project. And when you push this in, you're obviously going to do impression side down so that you get that impression. And watch your fingers because the wax is hot. And then we left that IOD stamp in there just until it was fully cooled. Otherwise, it's not going to pull away nicely. So make sure that's fully cooled and then pull that off. And isn't this an amazing technique? I had no idea that we could do this with our stamps, but I love it. You could use this for letters, scrolls, all sorts of fun things. And we are going to add some gold accents to make that pop. So go ahead and grab we're using a gold gilding wax. It looks like paint to me. I'll double check on that. And we'll make sure that instruction is in the description below, as well as the blog steps. And then the last thing we're going to do to bring this to life is we're going to go ahead and tuck our beautiful dried flower sprigs into the twine. It's going to finish this beautifully. Like we said before, you can use this on a dresser. Wouldn't it be fun in a guest room, on a nightstand? And you could even customize your note. You don't have to use the Ephemeral Type stamp. You could do a custom note and do a beautiful seal with one of the IOD Ephemeral Type stamps. There's so many possibilities here. We really enjoyed this one. It's really simple and really beautiful. So let us see your creations. Get with your stockist to get your IOD supplies. You can find all of that on ironorchiddesigns.com, where to buy. Get hooked up with yours. We will see you in the next tutorial. Until next time, friends.